What's going on, people? I hope everybody is doing good. So I wanted to hop on here real quick, man, and give my response to the investigation into Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dolton. That investigation is ongoing by former mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot. Now, Lori Lightfoot has brought some things to the attention of the residents in Dolton based upon her findings on Tiffany Henyard, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So I'm not going to waste anybody's time. Let's dive into it. Now, we've all seen small town politics play out in ways that make us shake our heads, right? But what's happening in Dolton, Illinois, under the watch of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, might just take the cake, all right? Now, when former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot stepped in to investigate Dolton's finances, it was clear that something was up. Something was going on, but what she uncovered is downright shocking. And we're going to get into it right now, man. Now, the numbers don't lie. Let's start with the hard facts. Dolton's general fund is $3.65 million in debt. Just let that sink in for a moment, all right? This isn't a struggling town trying to make ends meet after decades of economic downturn. This is a town that when Henyard took office back in April of 2022 had a surplus of $5.6 million, okay? We're talking about nearly $9 million that's vanished into thin air. This isn't just financial mismanagement. This is financial sabotage, financial fraud, financial where did the money go? This is a financial heist. All right. Now, when Lori Lightfoot laid this all out, you can hear the gasps from the residents of Dolton, okay?
You're having the same reaction that we did when we saw it.
These aren't numbers on the screen for them. This is their community, their tax dollars, their future that's being squandered upon, okay? And for what? To fund Amazon shopping sprees, lavish trips and purchases from Wayfair, okay? Over 43 G's spent on Amazon in a single day. Let that sink in. 43,000 bucks spent on Amazon in one day. How many laptops, flat screen TVs, and household products does a village need? All right. Let's take a deeper dive into the spending spree. Now, the spending doesn't stop at Amazon, okay? There's an $8,000 splurge at Wayfair as well, and a $2,000 splurge at Best Buy. But here's the kicker, man. 9 domestic trips, including one to Las Vegas. A trip that's now under investigation. I mean, who in Dolton thought it was okay to party in Vegas while their town's financial ship was sinking to the bottom of the ocean? Now, these aren't just poor decisions. They're blatant abuses of power and trust. All right? I mean, these decisions are like, hey, I'm going to do what I want to do, and you're not going to do anything about it. All right? And the people of Dolton are left holding the bag, watching their community crumble under the weight of unpaid bills and an empty bank account.
The village of Dolton is more than $3.5 million in the hole. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is accused of misusing money, and today she's nowhere to be found.
Tara Molina spent the day in Dolton following the investigation into Henyard's spending. Tara?
Jim and Marie, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is the special investigator in this case. And like we first told you last night, not only did she find the village of Dolton is in significant debt, but she also found the village's credit card spending is out of control. Mayor Tiffany Henyard didn't respond to any of my requests today, and I'm told she's not in the building. No response to repeated interview requests. I tried to track down Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard in person today. Village employees told me she wasn't in the office and didn't say when she would be, a day after this. A packed community meeting Thursday night, outburst after outburst. Following special investigator Lori Lightfoot's limited examination of Dolton's finances. Her report revealing as of May 31st, the village's general fund had a negative balance of $3.65 million. Lightfoot originally hired by trustees concerned about spending, like self-promoting, taxpayer-funded billboards, ads, plus spending on lavish dinners and trips.
Why are we going to these places? What's happening here?
Dolton trustee Brittany Norwood sat down with the CBS News Chicago investigators in February, telling us then trustees were denied requested bank statements.
You're having the same reaction that we did when we saw them.
With credit card spending out of control.
Receipts for credit card purchases are rarely provided.
Lightfoot further uncovering spending that doesn't add up. The report shows $40,000 spent on Amazon purchases in one day, money that's unaccounted for.
These are somebody using one of the credit cards.
Another question lingering here, money spent on police overtime, with 2 officers racking up 6 figures in pure OT, $108,000 and $114,000. The deputy chief, just fired here last week, Lewis Lacey, paid $96,000 in overtime.
The village has been unable to pay all of its monthly expenditures with available cash balance.
No money in the bank, all right? Now, you can imagine the anger and the rage when the trustees and the residents of Dolton heard the findings of Lori Lightfoot, all right? Trustee Belcher said, and I quote, $40,000 at Amazon? What a slap in the face, unquote, all right? And that's exactly what this is. This is a slap in the face to every hardworking resident of Dolton who pays taxes, expecting that money to be used to improve their community, not fund a shopping spree at Amazon, Wayfair, and Best Buy, and trips to Las Vegas, man. All right? And then there's the emotional toll. Now, Dan Lee, a resident who has been fighting the corruption for months, put it bluntly. He said, and I quote, "It's beyond belief and it's going to take us years. I'll probably be dead before they get this straightened out," right? Unquote. That's the reality for Dolton. This isn't a problem that's going to be fixed overnight. It's going to take years, maybe even decades, to undo the damage that Mayor Tiffany Henyard is causing on the village, man. All right? Now, what's even more alarming is the fact that 4 months into the fiscal year, Dolton still doesn't have a budget. No budget means no financial plan, no roadmap to get out of this mess. It's like they're flying blind, and Henyard, Mayor Tiffany Henyard, is controlling the airplane, steering them straight into the ground, man. All right. Now, here's the thing. The village's finances haven't been audited by the state since 2021. That's 2 years of unchecked spending, 2 years of who knows what's going on behind closed doors. It's no wonder why they're in such a dire situation, man. Now, let's talk about what this could lead to, okay? We've seen this kind of story before. This could lead to something very drastic for Mayor Tiffany Henyard. All right? It often ends with somebody going to jail. All right? Now, when you misuse public funds, there are consequences. Just look at the case of Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. He was convicted on 24 federal felony counts, including racketeering, extortion, and filing false tax returns, and was sentenced to 28 years in federal prison. Why? Because he used his position to enrich himself at the expense of the city who he was supposed to serve. Okay? Now, then there's a case of Rod Blagojevich in Chicago, the former Illinois governor who was convicted of corruption charges, including trying to sell the Senate seat of Barack Obama. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison, though his sentence was later commuted, I believe, by Donald Trump. Shout out, okay? But when you in that politics, man, that's nothing to play with. When you misuse the money and misuse the funds and you use the city's money for your personal gains, you could go to prison. All right? Them politics ain't nothing to play with when it comes to the bread. Many politicians have found themselves in prison for playing with the city's money, okay? Now, Mayor Tiffany Henyard's actions do bear a troubling resemblance to the cases I just mentioned. All right, it's proven that she's used Dolton's funds for her personal gain. All right, she could be looking at charges like wire fraud, embezzlement, and even racketeering, and those aren't just slaps on the wrist, man. I mean, those are some serious federal offenses that come with hefty prison sentences. All right, now, the investigation into her spending, especially the trip to Las Vegas, could be the tipping point. If it's shown that she used public funds for personal pleasure, the legal system will likely come down hard on her. The precedent is clear. Public officials who misuse their power and the people's money end up behind bars. We've seen it time and time again. All right? And with the state of Dolton's finances laid bare for the world to see, now, I'm going to wrap this up, man. At the end of the day, the people of Dolton deserve, a mayor who will fight for the town, man, who will manage their resources responsibly, okay? And who will work to improve the community, okay? Not somebody who's taking lavish trips to Las Vegas, 43 G's on Amazon, Wayfair, getting things from Best Buy, just living it up with the town's money. This is criminal. This is criminal. This is really criminal, all right? And the investigations are ongoing. They're still going on, all right? And the truth is coming to light. So Lori Lightfoot is not playing with Mayor Tiffany Henyard, okay? Lori Lightfoot is keeping her foot on the neck of Tiffany Henyard. That foot ain't so light. Former Mayor heavy foot on Tiffany Henyard's neck, man. Seriously, all right? It seems that Tiffany Henyard will be held accountable. If Henyard is found guilty of the allegations against her, she could very well end up in prison. And maybe then the people of Dolton will finally, get a new mayor and get the justice, man. But it appears that Tiffany Henyard has now gone on the run, man. Tiffany Henyard appears to be a fugitive at justice. She appears to have gone deep cover, okay? Tiffany Henyard appears to be a fugitive at justice because since the findings of former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, nobody has heard from Tiffany Henyard. This is like a movie, man. So we're going to all sit back and see what happens to Mayor Tiffany Henyard. But, talk about just plain old don't give a ham. And with that being said, man, I'm going to leave you all with 1 Thessalonians 5:22, which says, reject every kind of evil. That's it. That's all. Peace.